Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Fear the Walking Dead video. So this is my review for Fear the Walking Dead. Earlier, I posted a video talking about the ending scene and what that could mean for the future of The Walking Dead, but I actually wanted to talk about the episode because obviously I do reviews on this, and I have so much to say. I'm just gonna say it outright that this isn't necessarily a positive review of Fear the Walking Dead. I have tried to stay pretty positive and look to, I guess, the positives of this show. I've still criticized a few things. I said that I was kind of not feeling the Padre arc and that it was starting to get really messy. There were scenes with dialogue that just really felt messy, and this episode continues all that and so much more, like so much more. It was really nuts. So before going any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this, and definitely make sure to go follow me on Twitch. My channel name is Appetite for the Dead. We were there last night actually while I was watching The Walking Dead Dead City, and thank you to those that joined. That was a lot of fun. I'll be doing the same thing next week, actually after this video posts. I mean, basically I think while this video posts I will be live. Like today we're going to be doing a long stream, so I hope to see you guys there. But let's actually get into my overall review here of Fear the Walking Dead. So I mean, there's a lot to say about this. So I was excited about this episode. I was actually excited about the mid-season finale because I mean, I was wondering where they were going to go with the Padre arc, and I was hoping that the Padre arc would actually wrap up, and it actually did. The Padre arc is essentially over. I mean, kind of, I guess. In the end, we did learn that Madison wants to continue that and basically do what Padre wanted to do all along and just sort of, I guess, do that, but without all of the bad stuff that Padre was doing. So I guess, in a sense, the spirit of Padre is going to continue on, but Morgan and Mo won't be there, and they're on their way to Alexandria right now, which was a very cool part of the episode. But the last that we seen our characters, Morgan was locked up in that train, and when we do see him, Madison actually finds him on the ground, and yeah, we learned that Morgan is starting to become clear Morgan again, and when this happens, he just sort of snaps, and he doesn't remember anything. He becomes very just psycho, and he'll kill anything in front of him. He doesn't even know if you're good or bad. It doesn't matter. He just clears. He'll kill a walker. He'll kill a person. It doesn't matter at all. And obviously throughout the years, Clear Morgan was like the best Morgan, right? Like, you know, it's weird to say, like, at least for me anyways, it's the same thing as Rick. Like, my favorite version of Rick is Red Machete Rick. It's when he just goes crazy and starts killing a bunch of zombies, people, bad guys, whatever. I don't know what it is. It's just, I guess people like that kind of stuff. I don't know. And so with Morgan, Clear Morgan was just very, very exciting. And I was hoping that we were going to see that. And we did. But the way they handled it in this episode made it very cringy. Because every single time he was about to snap into becoming Clear Morgan, it would just like all he would see is red. And literally, it's like visually you're seeing red, which I just find hilarious. Like, I never really thought it was just like intentionally red. That's what I mean. In terms of how they did it here, that's what I hate, because the way I used to view it was maybe all he does see is red. Maybe in his eyes when he's looking out at the world, it's all red, but I'm imagining it. And I think for each of us, we're all imagining it or interpreting it like what he means by Clear Morgan a different way, which I think is very important for this story. I think in terms of Morgan's story, when he becomes Clear Morgan, I think it's best left to us to sort of imagine what that's like. But in this episode, we literally see it. He starts like flashing red, like we see red everywhere, and then a bunch of time jumps keep happening, and then he's over here doing this, and it's like, it just happens so much. And some of the dialogue said during it and afterwards, like some of the characters reacting to him, it just, you know, it makes it seem like it's, I don't know, bigger than it almost needs to be, because Morgan starts to react and starts to be like, you don't want to see me when I'm like this. I have no control over this. Almost like he becomes the Incredible Hulk. And that's the thing that I don't like. It's because the Clear Morgan part is happening just here and there, right? Like, Clear Morgan, I always thought was, when it happened, it lasted for a long time. It wasn't something that lasted for like 30 minutes and then you woke up somewhere else and you're like, wait, how did I get here? Like, I thought when he went Clear Morgan, it was like a few months of, I'm just crazy right now. And like, at some point he's going to snap out of it, and it's really hard to snap him out of it. So that's where I thought we were going. But no, in this episode, it's sort of, it makes it seem like it's just like this random thing that happens. He goes crazy, and then just like 10 minutes later, he comes back and he's just like normal Morgan again. And then he's like scared to, you know, to be around people and all of that. Like, it's just, it's just so silly. I don't like how they handled it, and I was just kind of laughing throughout a lot of it. And also the whole direction of Padre was such a big issue here. Like, Padre is... I don't understand what they were planning to do with it. And that's what I was talking about in my last video. I remember the showrunners saying that they always knew that this show was going to be ending with a season 8. After watching the first 6 episodes, I really don't believe that, because so much is rushed. So much of the Padre story is rushed here. And if they knew that this was the final season, then they just did a really bad job at wrapping that up, or even just getting to the arc in season 7, because they really pushed off the Padre arc until this moment, and they wrapped it up so fast. And also the delivery of everything, the point of it was just a bad idea. It's a very bad story. So that I'm not a fan of. I'm really not a fan of the fact that Shrike and Crane are Padre, and just the purpose of it, because they say there's thousands of walkers in between them. And I'm like, there's not thousands of walkers here. Like, you don't see that. And it just makes no sense. There's so many little things here that just make everything so meaningless. And that's what's just frustrating to me, because you watch a show like Dead City, and everything there, it's just, everything matters. Every single thing on that show matters. It's like the littlest details of how characters get from here to here. Like, that's what we liked about The Walking Dead. And I will say The Walking Dead's last couple of seasons, did a lot of what Fear the Walking Dead did. They just kind of like jumped over a bunch of stuff, and all the small details that us fans like in terms of our characters trying to survive, and even down to the outfits that they're wearing. Like, we want to be able to see when they change outfits, or they get this new jacket or something like that, because you're just surviving, and like you find this item, and I don't know, like fans like that kind of stuff. It just, you feel like you're a part of their journey. Dead City definitely did that right, and I do hope in the future they continue that, because that was one of the first things that I noticed, was just like, yeah, this normalcy here, like just how they're handling it, this feels so real and down to earth. This feels like the zombie apocalypse. This feels like why we watched the show in the first place. This really felt like season 1 of The Walking Dead. And on Fear the Walking Dead, I mean, the characters, again, they're still communicating via walkie-talkie constantly, like so conveniently throughout the area. And again, I'm not saying that it makes no sense that walkie-talkies can reach that far. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, it's just so ridiculous that they're all just communicating that way so easily. Like, they don't even need to be in the same areas anymore. Like, when you're sort of constructing the story, they can be here and they can be over there, and you can still have a scene between them two just communicating via walkie-talkie. And then it's just, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of that. I want a little bit more creativity there. And then we get to Mo as a character, and Mo, I like the character of Mo. I really do. And honestly, I don't even blame Mo as a character for a lot of what happened in here, because it was just the writing in general. And I think she can be a really awesome character if she was given a better script. Like, honestly, I really do. In this episode, she, like, for some reason does not like Morgan, and it makes no sense. Like, she acts like, yeah, I don't want to be around you. I hate you, or I don't know if she says that, but she doesn't want to be around him. And obviously we know it's because she's scared of losing a parent, but the way she acts in here, the situations that Morgan can be in because of it, it's so, I don't know. Like, she ties up her dad to like this wooden post or whatever, because obviously she's sort of afraid of him if he becomes Clear Morgan or whatever. That's what I mean. That's why I don't like the use of Clear Morgan and how they constructed that, because once you start getting into that and you've already worked out other parts of the episode and the story, when you get to this moment here, that's the only thing left to do. Like, you have to sort of rely on what you've been telling us, which was that Morgan needs to be, or Morgan just snaps in and out of it here and there. Clear Morgan isn't a thing that once he goes into it, he's there for a long time. And so now we have Clear Morgan just sort of tied up to this board, and it's annoying, because like, she's taken out all these walkers with ease, which I'm not really questioning her abilities, but then again, she is a child. Like, it should be a lot harder than that, but she's just doing that, and her dad's like literally tied up and like could die and get bit by a walker. Like, that just happened to her mom, but she's allowing this to happen. It just really contradicts a lot of sort of her beliefs of like, I don't want to lose my dad, yet you're willing to allow him to be in this really scary situation. And also, Shrike's death, I do think was just sort of, I don't know, it was just the scenes, the dialogue, everything. It was just so, I just really was not a fan of it. Honestly, for me, I was just so grateful that this arc was over. And the moment that this arc really was over came to Morgan giving a speech basically to everybody. And that's the thing with this scene here is, it doesn't make a lot of sense for anybody to be following Crane anyways, because Crane, Mo, and I guess Dove don't really make a lot of sense in what they're saying, like really at all. And some of the delivery by them is kind of awkward and cringy. So it's just something that when I'm watching it, I'm just like, this is happening too fast. This is being very, very rushed right now. What Morgan is saying makes way too much sense. And what you guys are trying to do is just so ridiculous right now that it's just sort of coming off cringy. Like that's the best word I can describe it, is it's cringy. And then Mo out of nowhere just decides, yeah, you know what? I want to be on your side. And then that's it. The Padre arc is over, just like that. And that's why I look back at the Padre arc and I'm like, what was this supposed to be? Was this always originally what it was supposed to be? When you go back to season 7 and Alicia was finding these pages of Padre and this whole like secret governmental thing that was found in this bunker of this hotel, you know, and there's like nukes involved and this and that. Like, was this what Padre was supposed to be? I really don't think so. That's why I don't believe that they knew that Fear the Walking Dead was ending, because it just, look how fast they wrapped this up. It just makes no sense to me. I just was not a fan of the Padre arc. To me, honestly, this season so far, like I liked it, I would say, more than season 7 in terms of certain moments. And I'm not so bored and it doesn't feel like I'm just like in pain watching it. But like season 7 had more believable moments happen. Season 8, the moments happening just make no sense. And also the thing that they did too was that, you know, Finch is now gone. So Dwight and Sherry now have lost a child. And I talked about how it was so cool that they were introducing a newer character. And again, they did a time jump. We just met Finch. This moment should be so much bigger than what it was. But we didn't see Finch die at all. Finch just sort of said, you know, I don't want Shrike to have to go through what I'm going through. And then that was it, which is like, I don't know, that moment was done so fast. There was really no meaning there. And then you get to the scene where you just see his name on the cross. And for Dwight and Sherry, they're just like, yeah, you know what? I guess this means that we should just break up. Like, it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Like, Dwight went out there to look for Sherry. And yes, they're, you know, this is causing them a lot of pain, but like everyone's going through pain. Can they not see that other characters are also going through pain as well? And so what? You're just going to split up? That's the best thing to do? I'm so frustrated with that, because we actually had, like, Dwight and Sherry actually had a son, and their son's now just gone. And that's super frustrating. Honestly, it's so frustrating as a fan of Dwight and Sherry. I wanted their legacy to live on. I wanted to see more of that in the future. Like, Finch sort of looked like a younger Dwight. So I just kind of kept picturing, well, imagine in 20, 30 years if they did a Walking Dead Next Generation show, what he would look like. Would he look like Dwight? Obviously, he wouldn't have the burn on his face, but that would just be so cool. Like, you know, you would have Judith, you would have RJ, Finch, and just all the other characters that would be grown up by then, Herschel too. Like, that's just amazing to me. It's so amazing to me, but of course they don't do that. So again, I was so angry. Like, when that happened, I was so annoyed, because Finch literally, like, this whole Cure storyline too with radiation, like, it literally did not matter. None of it matters. It was all so pointless, all so ridiculous. They were just trying to get into some stuff with Padre, introduce some stuff that would be kind of cool, and then wrap it up super fast. Because now for the next 6 episodes, it's all Madison's story now, right? It's just Madison's story going forward. And while I do like that, I am a fan of that. It's just, I look back at the Padre arc and I can't help but think, very, very pointless. Honestly, very pointless. And by the time this episode was over, I was just so relieved that all of it was done. So now going forward for the next 6 episodes, it's more about wrapping up this story here. And I guess seemingly we're going to see Madison and Alicia reunite. Like, the woman at the end, if it was a woman, I couldn't really tell, but that doesn't seem to be Alicia, just because obviously whoever that is has both arms, but Alicia's arm is there. So something happened to Alicia. They know who Madison Clark is, I guess. So there's going to be some stuff there, which I do find interesting. You know, I'm really excited to see exactly where that goes. And I think they could maybe close out Madison's story in a really meaningful way and end Fear the Walking Dead how it was supposed to end, as a Clark family story, right? So we'll have to wait and see where that goes there. But just, I don't know, you know, in terms of everything else, it's just been so ridiculous. That's all I can really say. For me, again, I liked the ending scene. I like the fact that we are going to see Rick and Morgan likely reunite. At least that was sort of the teaser there at the end. I like how they ended Morgan's story. He's going back to Alexandria. That's where he belongs. But as of now, it's just, it's frustrating. That's the thing. It is just overall frustrating. So if I had to rate this episode of Fear the Walking Dead, I would probably rate it like a 3 or 4 out of 10. I just wasn't a fan of this at all. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.